So I'm on my way to Elmer's place. Apparently he has fallen, and Becky called me and said he was in the floor and could I come help. So it was 10 o'clock at night and I am driving over there. Nothing wrong with that. I love them. And I don't want anybody to be sitting in the floor. See through this windshield, so, and I have no idea if you can even hear me, but I've never recorded a video before, and there's always got to be a first time for something. If there's going to be a second time, then I want this to be something that I do, so here I am doing it. Not that big of a reach. Taking a class in college for it. Storytelling is part of it. I've always considered myself a pretty good storyteller, but learning to tell a story when it's to a stranger, which is sort of what this is new to me. And I can't help it. The idea that there might be more than one stranger makes me even more nervous, exponentially nervous, as it were. So, but here I am, driving down the road, using part of the clocks in my brain to record myself driving. Because I believe one day I might want to know or be able to recall what I'm thinking tonight. What I'm thinking tonight is that there's a lot of hate in this world where there could be love. I've never doubted, in all my years, I've never doubted, I'm 46, I've never doubted that God loved me. Not really. Until the other day. Hesitate to tell that complete story, and I don't want to be over dramatic about it, but I heard my uncle, he was just trying to show me why he believes what he believes. And what he believes is that people who are sexually immoral can't go to heaven, and that homosexuality is sexually immoral, and so that means that people who are doing that can't go to heaven. Now, what people like him, I love him, but what people like him and people who grew up as Southern Baptists, what the majority of them seem to believe is that if somebody has ever been homosexual, well, actually, I don't know. I don't know how they would react because I never told them. Most people, I never felt like it was necessary to tell anybody who I was attracted to, unless it was the person that I was attracted to. Or no, actually, that's not true. I just never really thought it was necessary to tell anybody that I sometimes found men attractive. It just happened rare enough that it didn't matter. But nowadays it does matter. I mean, a lot of people who more than I ever thought would, they find themselves attracted to somebody that and their immediate reaction is that they're gay. Well, what if you just find yourself attracted to that person? Well, most of the time, when people have those thoughts, they would experiment in those ways. They would find out immediately that that's not how they feel. They would move on. But nowadays, there's not that barrier anymore. People are exposed to this stuff when they're much younger, and so it doesn't used to be that you never really seriously considered this stuff unless somebody messed with you. You wouldn't. It was just so aberrant of a behavior that you just didn't think about it. I mean, even if you had the thought or the feeling, you certainly weren't going to act on it. But nowadays, people think that if they have an attraction, it's okay to just act on it. And so people do that. And then you fast forward a little while, and gosh, I don't even know how to phrase what happens next. Being attracted to wanting something is not bad. It can't be. Being desirous of something. I mean, lusting is one thing that I know isn't acceptable. God is very clear about that particular aspect of the human condition. But what about love? I know plenty of people who are of the same sex that have been in or are in loving relationships with people. God says that sex is only for people that were married, and obviously the Bible is written. I mean, let's forget about the fact of when it was written, but the intent of the Bible was probably that people, opposite sex couples, and even back then, homosexuality wasn't looked upon very favorably. But if you want to call it progress, what's happened to this world is that we've decided it doesn't matter what's right or wrong. We're going to do whatever feels good. And if what I'm doing both feels good and it's okay with the guy standing next to me, that then it must be okay. Forget about if it's okay with God. And so here we are. I don't know the answer. I don't claim to know the answer. What I do know is that I've never had to choose. There was a time when I questioned who I was in that regard, and I guess it was a lie to say I didn't have to choose. I just chose. I mean, I went down that road. I found some of it appealing, some of it no way, and I decided. I learned who I was early on. I didn't have to, the people who put these labels on each other would call me bi. In fact, if you want to put a whole left-wing woke swipe on it, I am a cisgendered, bisexual, demisexual. Yes, demisexual. Meaning I'm only sexually attracted to people that I have a feelings for or the desire to be in a relationship with. So, what? I mean, so I don't wear that label on my lapel or whatever. I don't talk about it. I never have. I never saw a reason to. But now all of a sudden, I'm sitting in church because I had given church up. But it's hard for me to sit in church and hear people say some things that they say. And lately I had my feelings really hurt in that regard. And so now I'm questioning. I'm wondering. And I want to talk about it.